Hey, this is Drinking Bleach. It's been a while since I've been on here, but I just saw something in the news that really caught my attention, and I felt like I just had to say something about it. Um, Jeffrey Epstein, the Lolita Express guy, the big child molester dude. Um, so they just found him dead in his cell. I guess he had already tried to commit suicide once. But I can tell you something about Jeffrey Epstein's suicide. He was probably the guy who was most surprised by it because that guy was murdered. Holy fucking shit. If anybody has been murdered in the history of the fucking murders, it was Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein must have been sitting in his cell and he's like, "Oh man, they said they wouldn't try to they said they wouldn't try to kill me again." And then the the jailer walks by. He's like, "Hey Epstein, uh, we're gonna come in your cell and spray for bugs." Epstein's like, "Oh no, you said you wouldn't kill me. You wouldn't kill me." They're like, "Oh, we just want to come in there and spray for bugs, Epstein." Fucking clang chang, open the door. Boom, they're in there murdering Epstein. He deserved to be dead, but that's besides the point. Because to me, I'm like, who killed him? It was the Clintons. Man, more people end up dead around the Clintons. And actually, apparently one of those fruity princes in England, um, one of those guys was apparently hung out with Epstein and was grabbing boobs and stuff. I don't know. And Diana got murdered. I think we all know that. And then Princess Diana. So I think the royal family maybe sent in a heavy, greased some palms, got in there and murdered Epstein. Because there is no way he was anything. If you have any doubt in your mind, don't. Because Epstein was murdered. Straight up. Suicided. Any story you can see about him, you can just add like an ED on the end of suicide or a D on the end of suicide. Because he was suicided. He didn't commit suicide. Suicided dead by murder. He's like, they'll be like, "Oh, he accidentally shot himself in the back of the head 7 times in his prison cell." That's like, seriously, and the guy should or was on suicide watch. And apparently, they're going to have CCTV, like closed circuit television footage of him, because they must have been watching him 24/7. And on the footage, it's just going to be like, there's just going to be like a blurry part, or it's going to cut out for the suicide part. And then it'll cut back, and Epstein will be sitting there with shot in the back of the head 6 times. Um, that, wow, they really think we would fucking eat any shit. Honest to God. Like, I'm not even a conspiracy guy. I don't believe in that shit. But when I see, somebody obviously was. And then, oh, the best part is they're just going to drop all the charges. They're like, "Oh, case over. Don't worry about it. I was watching CNN and it looked like they were almost like in on a joke when they were talking about it. They're like, "Yes, he definitely committed suicide." Oh, it absolutely committed. He is the. I will say it again. He is the most murdered man who's ever been murdered. He was murdered. Murder. I don't know how more in what way to put it, but if anybody's listening out there, now subscribe, share, do all that crap. But especially make sure you tell everyone about Jeffrey Epstein's murder. Because it really, if you look into it at all, there have been predictions that he would end up dead. Going back quite a way since pretty much he got caught. And yeah, so they were calling all these people crazy conspiracy theorists, and I didn't think they were bold enough to do it. I just didn't really believe that the whoever did this, because there's a lot of interested parties, so it's hard to say who got this guy killed, but it's really hard to say. It could be so many different angles. It may be the case that they just threw a rope in the hole and, like, he did suicide himself, but they aided and availed him of his suicide. I think that could be a possibility. Like, realistic possibility. They were like, oh, here's your belt. We forgot to give you your belt, Jeffrey Epstein. Definitely don't commit suicide with that. Like, so. I wouldn't surprise me if literally Bill Clinton went in there with a garrote and was like, hey, time to take a nap, big boy. Just fucking killed him himself. Hillary was watching the whole time. She was loving it. Could have been Trump coming in there. I don't know. I don't think Trump would have the guts. He'd have to send somebody in there to kill him. But, yeah, I think, Epstein was murdered. I know he was murdered. Anybody who says anything else, bullshit asshole, because that guy was totally murdered. 100%, or his suicide was aided actively by people who could be part of some sort of, because this guy's a big pedophile. He had the Clintons on this Lolita Express all the time, some plane there where they'd fly over international waters and, like, do Epstein stuff, whatever the hell that is. Probably not good. So, yeah, in all honesty, the guy was murdered to cover up for higher up people, and they wanted this case stopped. And it's stopped now, and it's going to get a 24-hour, maybe 36-hour news cycle, and they'll be off to the next thing. And they'll never talk about this again. The news. They do have to pay some lip service, but it's gone, because it probably had effects on people who own news channels, like the conglomerates that own Fox News or CNN. They probably, or on MSNBC and all of them. I don't care. I'm not biased towards one or the other. I think they're all trash. But they're definitely covering up, and they want this gone. This Epstein thing. It implicated too many powerful people, really powerful people. When you say rich and powerful, these are the rich and powerful who were implicated in the Epstein documents. So, anyway, that's my rant there. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and tell everybody that Jeffrey Epstein was murdered. He did deserve to die, though. He was kind of a piece of shit. But he should have had his day in court and named names. Now he can't name names. So, this has been Drinking Bleach. Goodbye.